Torrey Pines. The difference was I was flying a paraglider in the Torrey Pines World Air Races over Black's Beach, just about half a mile south of the same golf course where Tiger Woods had his victory. Paragliding receives its roots from the sports of skydiving. What happened was years ago, skydivers started getting bored. It wasn't just enough to jump out of a perfectly good airplane and have your parachute hopefully open. You had to have more. You had to fly it around, see what it could do, experiment with it, stall it out, spiral it out, collapse it, recover at the lowest possible altitude, deploy your emergency reserve parachute just for fun or when you need it. So as you can see, skydivers became pretty bored quickly on in that sport. And hence, along with creativity, designers, the sport of paragliding was born. They took a Ram Air skydiving parachute, modified it, changed the fabric, and made it glide further, made it stay up longer, made it fly faster. We took these paragliders down to Torrey Pines along the cliffs where ridge lift would come in the afternoon, and just like the birds, we would soar along the cliff edge, staying up, climbing, making turns, flying out of the ocean, getting high enough to come and land back in on top. The sport was fully born. In 1992, I attended the Torrey Pines World Paragliding Air Races by invitation. We had pilots from Europe, Asia, national champions, world record holders, factory-sponsored pilots, designers, and test pilots. It was a very competitive crowd. In NASCAR, when you race in your own car, but you're on a team. You might have 5 or 6 different racers, all with the same sponsors, and you communicate, you help each other out, you do dirty tricks on the other team to get them out of the way, and you try and propel one of your teammates into the leadership position. And with paragliding, it was similar. We would help each other, work together as a team, but in the end, we all raced separately, and there was going to only be one winner. Before the competition began, I had to negotiate with my sponsor for certain benefits, such as my $300 entry fee, food for the week, a competition paraglider to fly, and a racing harness, a prototype in fact. Last but not least, I needed housing, so I scored floor space on the hotel room floor. That was my sponsorship. In addition, I decided that whoever won, and we didn't know who this was going to be yet, should have a really nice trophy. So I convinced my sponsor to pay to have my friend, who's a very talented artist, to design a trophy for the first place finisher. Now my friend was not a paragliding pilot, he was a skydiver. So he asked me, well, what does a paraglider look like? So I gave him a photo of my wing and my harness, which he used to design the first place trophy. Now driving down to the competition, I had a little bit of excitement. I was towing a trailer with one of those big 3-ring gyros that spins around to make some extra money. On the way down, my clutch strut died, the trailer got a flat, the trailer got a ticket, and the trailer got towed. I showed up to this 9-day event with $40 cash in my pocket. During the first 3 days of the competition, as we practiced on this figure-8 course along the cliff, my teammates were in the top 10 position time, but I was not. And so after 2 or 3 days, I said to my sponsor, hey, what's going on? How come these guys are doing so much better than me, and I can't compete? We're on the same wing. And he laughed at me, ha, 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 ha. That's because you got to rag that old wing, and everybody else is flying a brand new one. And so at that point, I demanded a brand new wing and got it the very next day. Well, that paid off because shortly thereafter, I became number 3 ranked in the entire competition. My other teammates were number 1 and 4, so we had 3 of the top 4 spots. The night before the finals, I was standing there at the event party by the campfire, and I spied the team Adele pilots walking up in their black leather Adele jackets. I looked at my teammate and saw that we just had these sweatshirts on, and was kind of secretly jealous. And so I said, Josh, check it out, these Adele guys, they have black leather jackets, and all we have are these crummy pro-designed sweatshirts. What's up with that? And so the factory pilot from Germany looked at me and said, do you guys want a jacket? We knew we had them in the bag. They were scared. Race day dawned, and my first competition was head-to-head against last year's winner. In the event, I beat him by 1 minute. Just crushed him. Moved on to the next level and raced against the president of Adele USA, the folks with the black leather jackets. I beat him at the finish line, but my racing time was so fast that they propelled me up to first place in the rankings. So I got a bye for the next round, and then I went into the finals against my teammate, the number 1 ranked pilot, Zach Attack Hoisington. So as we got ready to race, they flipped a coin, and I won. And I could go left into the bowl, where it was a little bit more challenging to fly, or I could go right along the safer route, where the cliffs were steeper and easier to stay up. But because it was the afternoon, and I knew that the sun was hitting directly perpendicular to the bowl, I went for the riskier side, and I chose left. So as I launched and turned left, I flew right into thermal activity. And instead of going down in the bowl, I climbed, sped up, raced through it, turned, crossed paths with Zach, got to the other turn point, hit that turn point, came across the finish line 4 seconds ahead of my teammate to win. As the sun set that evening, I was awarded $5,000 in cash and prizes. The magazine was there, and they put a photo of me on the cover and wrote a story about me. This launched a almost 10-year career in paragliding, which allowed me to be paid to travel to 10 different countries, paid for my entry fees for every competition I entered after that. I was a sponsor, distributor, rep, competition pilot, national championship organizer, and created a lot of great memories and friends. So I just want to tell you that if you enjoyed this story, that I have more. Thank you for listening, and please feel free to ask.